What's going on, guys? Hopefully you're having an incredible day. Today I want to do a different type of video. We now know that, barring any unforeseen circumstances, we are going to see a second stimulus check. The second stimulus check will be for $600. It will not be for anything more. It could be for less, and I'm going to explain how in just a minute. But one of the main questions I've been getting from a lot of people here on YouTube, I've also been getting this over on Instagram as well, is who qualifies for a $600 stimulus check? And when could we potentially see this $600 stimulus check in our bank accounts? So I want to answer those two questions. If you have questions on unemployment benefits, you have questions on rental assistance, or anything like that, I will not be answering that in today's video. That will be for additional video, which I'll probably do maybe later today or sometime this week. So let's get into the two questions. First, who qualifies for a $600 stimulus check? This is our second stimulus check. And good news, this probably will not be the last stimulus check that we receive. So the first thing you need to understand is who qualifies. Right now, if you are an individual, you file individually, just you, no children, you will receive $600. If you are a couple who files jointly, which you have to file jointly, and you could receive a $600 stimulus check if you make under $150,000 combined. As the individual, you have to make under $75,000. If you received the first stimulus check back in April, you will get the second stimulus check because nothing has changed. Yes, you may now be deciding to file. Maybe you got married and you're going to start to file jointly. Great, you can do that next year. But for right now, the IRS is still going off of your 2018 and 2019 tax returns. So if something changed between 2019, that tax return, and now, the IRS does not know about that. So because of that, they are going to go with what they know. Also, the $600 stimulus check can actually go down. For example, if you make over, let's say $75,000 as an individual, I believe for every $1,000 that you go up over $75,000, your amount comes down, I believe it's like $5. So yes, you can get a stimulus check for $100 depending on what you make. Also, as far as children, dependents, who qualifies there? What we know is that the $600 will be for child dependents only, age 17 and below. Yes, that does exclude all adult dependents. As of right now, I do not believe they will be included no matter what. We have heard from people like Bernie Sanders and Josh Hawley come out and say they want $1,200 stimulus checks. Nobody has said we need stimulus checks for our adult dependents. And that is a big issue. Nobody's talking about that. So I'm under the expectation that we are not going to see anything on that. Even when Joe Biden comes into office, I doubt there will be a stimulus check available to adult dependents. That means anybody over the age of 18. And that is as of the 2019 tax return. If things change and there's a 2020 tax return that gets filed in between the next stimulus check, then we could revisit this then. Also, a question I've been getting multiple times just in the past day is if your child was born in 2020. Many of you are new parents, new moms, new dads. First off, congratulations. But many of you are new parents. If you are a new parent, your child was born in 2020, they are not technically on your tax return yet. They will be, but they are not yet. So you do qualify for a $600 stimulus check, but it actually will not be mailed to you. You will have to go and file your tax return in 2021 for the 2020 tax year, and then you will receive your stimulus check then. So yes, you are eligible, but you will not receive it in the mail. Also, many people have been asking about back child support. If you owe any back child support, do you still get a stimulus check? Technically, yes, you get a stimulus check, but it doesn't come to you. It actually gets reverted from you over to the state in which you owe that back child support. So in a way, yes, you do receive it, but it doesn't come to you. It goes to pay for the state so that they can pay for your back child support. That's currently what we know. These $600 stimulus checks, again, it's the same thing. If you made, let's say, $80,000, then you'd get a smaller amount. You get closer to $550 or $575, and then that would get mailed to the state. So again, it's not just the full $600, but yes, if you owe any back child support, you technically get a stimulus check. It just actually won't show up to you. Now, another big question: when can we receive these stimulus checks? When will we see them? This was actually answered earlier today by Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin. He stated this morning that they are going to send out stimulus checks as soon as early next week. So today is the 21st, which means stimulus checks will most likely be mailed out, or actually not mailed out, issued through direct deposit through the IRS. This will most likely happen on December 28th. That is next Monday. What we know, based on what happened through the CARES Act when checks were issued then, the first wave of roughly 50 million stimulus checks through direct deposit will be issued on Monday. And the way it worked through the CARES Act is people receive the check in their bank account usually Tuesday and Wednesday that same week. So we are about 8 to 9 days away from seeing stimulus checks hitting about 50 million Americans' bank accounts. That's really good news. So if you do get direct deposit, then expect the checks will arrive sometime next week. Most likely, they will show up on Wednesday. That's when the majority of people usually receive them. Also, what about the economic impact payment cards? There were debit cards, little debit cards that were sent out to, I think it was like 7 million people. They were sent out through the IRS. These cards look like scams, but they were legit. They actually worked. These cards will have your $600 stimulus check payment on them. Who and when will you get these? First off, who gets them? If you received economic impact payment card from the CARES Act, then you will receive the money. It will go directly to that card. So you don't have to wait for another card. It will go right back to that card that you already have. If you shredded the card, if you do not have the card, you have to request for a new one. This is the issue. Many people didn't get the cards because they thought they were scams. They threw them away. Well, the money is going to go back onto that same card. So you need to get a replacement card. That is where you're going to have to call the IRS. Also, paper checks. Who is going to receive, or how long will people have to wait to receive them? Let me go back and answer the question, because I didn't answer this question about the EIP card. If you have the card, these should be sent out sometime between the 1st of January and the middle of January. The big issue, and this also goes into effect with paper checks as well, is the IRS. Right now, what we're expecting is health experts are anticipating we're going to see a spike in COVID cases, which essentially are going to shut down many cities, many counties, and possibly even states. If this happens, the IRS could potentially do a temporary shutdown, or they can reduce their staff. If this happens, then look for an even longer delay for paper checks. Paper checks are going to be the longest. Those are going to take the most time. So if you do get a paper stimulus check, just understand this could potentially be the middle to end of January, or this could actually lead into February by the time you receive these checks. So they do anticipate it's going to be a little bit better than the CARES Act and how long it took to get checks out then, but they do expect there will be some delays based on what health experts are currently predicting. Remember, right now, we are still waiting for Congress to pass this bill to finalize the deal for the $600 stimulus check. We know the House is supposed to vote on it sometime today. The Senate is supposed to vote on it after that. This could happen late into the night. But what we do know is there are some people that are, somewhat opposed to a $600 stimulus check when there's a $1,200 stimulus check that was recently passed. So everything is not guaranteed yet until it's passed by the House, the Senate, and signed into law by President Trump. Once those three things happen, then we can guarantee the stimulus check. Now, I want to add just one more thing, because one of the questions I've been getting as well is why are we not talking about a $1,200 stimulus check? Right now, with our current Senate, we have a Republican Senate. They cannot support a $1,200 stimulus check because it would be too expensive to add that on top of everything else. So what they're currently saying is a $600 stimulus check is the best that we can do at this point. But if we need to revisit this situation in the future under a new administration, then we will do that. Many expect a $1,200 stimulus check is going to be what we see under the Biden administration. According to reports, there's two things that are the top priorities for the Biden administration. One is to put money into the pockets of the American people. This will help crush the virus. Now, a lot of people don't understand this, but if people have money in their pockets, let's say they have a $1,200 stimulus check sent to them, they are not as worried about going into work and potentially spreading the virus. They are comfortable staying home because now they have a little bit of a safety net. So, the Biden administration, there's two main things, two priorities that they want to accomplish. One is an additional stimulus check. Again, this is just according to reports. Hasn't been said by Joe Biden himself, but until that does, we'll have to go with the reports. Right now, two things. The $1,200 stimulus check, and the second thing is state and local government funding. Those are the two main priorities as of right now. If this is the case, then we should expect a third stimulus check to start being discussed within the first couple of weeks of January, and even possibly sooner, depending on what some people in the Senate decide to say today during the vote. So, right now, nobody expects this stimulus package to be the end. Everybody is saying that this is just going to be a down payment. That is according to Joe Biden. This is a substantial down payment on what's to come. Mitch McConnell has said it multiple times. We know the next administration is going to fight for additional stimulus. So Congress should already plan on that. That's essentially what they're doing. So right now, this is what we know. But as always, as I know more, I promise I'll share more. Consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on regarding stimulus and the future of stimulus. And I'll see you guys on the next one.